I will be starting the recording now. I've checked OBS. I double checked it. Everything's gonna work this time.
Do not swear. Unless
Do not swear.
Kinda
And
glossy.
don't play copyrighted music. Thank you. I've gotten many strikes for that. Well, not strikes, but you know, the video gets forcibly
You gotta
monetized.
surf it, Toad.
This looks all. This looks like it's only suitable for one player at the moment that I'm seeing in Spooky Toad's area. Okay, thanks for the flashing light, very useful.
Yeah, I'm
The dynamic
getting
shadow
some
on the light prop for some reason.
crazy errors in my console. Maybe it's
It's very
just
dark,
my
isn't it?
client.
Gotta go through that door, Toad.
Still hearing a like a sea on Spooky Toad at the moment. The soundscape is still that of like waves and what have you. Oh, my monitor brightness is fine and I can't see what it is. It just looks like a dark dead end. Reminds me of Resident Evil 2.
Also, one tip: if you're gonna use normal maps like this in dark areas, I would add a hint to the actual reflection, because currently you can see the darkness, because you can see the reflections in the dark, which makes no sense. There's no light, so definitely add some fong tint, I think it's called, to your BMTs.
Are you saying that the phone highlights are bright white, so it doesn't make sense because it's reflecting a white light that doesn't exist?
Exactly, that's the problem. I've recently learned that you can tell the phone to take the color from the actual material itself, and it's just much more realistic in dark areas, and it works even in bright areas. But yeah, it's really distracting. It's taking a bit away from your like good modeling, not mapping. See, it's so good that it looks like modeling. So yeah,
Very
definitely take
5, 4, 3,
definitely take that.
1.
Are you supposed to like hit the button?
I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that I see part of the activated corridor and teleporters. I hope that's not going to be the way it is all over the map with teleporters all the time. Why
Oh
can't
boy.
I see this elevator?
Blocking damage. I'm concerned about the blocking damage of this door up here. On the top of the elevator.
It's weird. I couldn't get onto the elevator or whatever. It's just stopping us for some reason.
Hey, Maddie, try touching your door. Sometimes it goes. Well, it has blocking damage on it.
Is there a door? What door are you referring to?
There's bug, I get hit here. I don't know how.
That door did 75 damage. Gonna kill me if I'm a scout. And 2 hits.
Thanks for the dispenser. I'm gonna have
Definitely.
to close my curtains because this is so dark.
These lasers. These are
I
all
can
right.
get you. What the fuck? Let me in! Let me in!
Why can't I get under this door? I can clearly crouch under it. That's just weird. I mean, I'm
Maybe
pointing
because
right at the
we're
door.
supposed to go here.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm being drawn straight to this door. I see it straight ahead, and it looks like I can crouch. But on the left here, just looks like an insignificant detail. You should draw attention to that, and like, not to
How
this.
did I not die to this? How should have died to this trap. The blocks toppled me over.
Yeah, definitely. This is a really rare case, because usually you have death on maps that like lack detail. But this map has so much detail that now you have to like make sure the most important things stand out.
These lasers don't make any sense with the environment. We've got some kind of mechanical environment, and we've just got these bright white things that make no sense whatsoever. Wouldn't it be better to have some kind of electrified prods or cables or something?
Yeah. Hey, check it. There's an Easter egg over here.
Very interesting, interesting static hazards though. Oh yeah. Oh, it killed me. Great.
Nah.
that.
I can't believe you still included
The heck?
Bonnie in there.
What weird dynamic shadows on the ground there, or are they patches between these spiky things?
I think we will not do respawning yet. Let's just play the map like normal, and after, you know, we get tired of that, we will start to respawn people, so we get more out of this. And then of course the mini games themselves.
Oh god.
No mini
Top-down
games.
Activates a corridor,
I
teleporters.
see.
I'm not going to enjoy this. Can't see the activate map. There we are. Well, that was completely fucking useless. All I can say is thankful I've got a shotgun, because if I didn't, I'd be screwed. Where's my book plus use bind? What did that do? Nothing at all. What? I'm confused.
There was
This
some
trap's
blocks
supposed
up
to
there.
do?
It's supposed to break this.
There's like people directly in front of me. I press a button and they don't die because apparently there's two possible. Well, the trap doesn't even attack where I think it was attacking because I can't see the hole in front of me because it's below me.
1.
And because it's all small corridors and I'm being teleported around, I don't know if that demo man has run ahead or not. Oh, there he is. I'm pressing buttons as people are in the trap zones and they're not dying, they're just walking through and then the traps are happening.
Hey, Nutwoomy, did you put a trigger multiple set health 0 instead of a trigger hurt in there? Is that what you did? That might be why they're not killing me. That might...
I don't know what traps do. All I can rely on is the fact that when somebody's directly opposite me, I press the button and they'll get caught in the trap.
Well, Woomy, there is one trap. You know that bricks animation you were working on? The one where the bricks topple over in the snow area? That didn't kill me. But I did touch it. I was directly in the trap. How did I not die to it? That might explain it. That might...
All this detail and we've still got a basic like pushing trap or suction trap or something. Because I can't see the fans here, I don't know what that button did. All I know is I'm pressing a button, something's going to happen, but I've got no idea what, so I don't know when I should push it. I'm standing in front of some spikes, no idea what they're going to do. Just got to sit here and wait for somebody to come into my view. And look, I pressed the button again and they died. They didn't die. Fantastic. Now I sit and wait again, not knowing where anyone is because I can't see them because the activated corridors are all short teleporter things. I don't know what's going on, but the sound here is quite loud and annoying. These lasers. It sounds more like a sped up bandsaw than lasers, really.
Nice map. Looks really nice, I think.
What did that do? Oh. Apparently nothing at all, again. Useless buttons. Now I've got to wait longer for people to come. I don't know where they are. I don't want to go back in case I miss them. That is surprisingly lean, 1056 peak.
Yeah, this map has a lot of detail. It's hard to really... Some areas have more, definitely, than others.
I hope you enjoyed that time when I pressed the button, the laser just went up and down a bit faster, and you just watched it, and then it stopped, and then you just carried on as normal. I feel like I'm just basically adding to the ambience as an activator here, and not really actually doing anything to kill people. The map is doing a fine job of that itself. I think I must have killed 3 people with traps that I pressed, and everybody else died to static hazards. And I wasn't even present for most of it because I didn't see him. I was in a completely different area just waiting for people. There was like a screen rumbling there, a screen shake, but there was no accompanying rumbling sounds. I don't know what it was from. I'd expect to hear some kind of music or fanfare when entering this area.
Scout, Pauling here. I've got work.
Keeping playtesting. Is it a bad time? I'm gonna get
I
11.
do think the lighting in this room is a bit too dim. I think it needs to be brought up a bit.
For me, it's fine.
Five, four, three,
Fuck.
one.
Well, I see a single plank ahead of me. I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, there's ugly shadows on the left there from that prop. It looks like you're not using static prop polys to compile. Looks like it's just using the collision. think you might be over-relying on that electronic buzzing sound for your lasers. Why the hell can I still hear it? The fuck? Is it coming from the middle of those rotating spike logs where Extreme Spook was? So you hear that Extreme Spook, the kind of weird electronic sound? Yeah, that's weird. It wasn't there before, I'm sure, unless I wasn't there. I didn't hear it because I joined after the ambient generic started to play. It's rather irritating. Interesting use of dust motes, I see. Very interesting detailing. It does definitely feel like I'm going through zones and stuff, but I think I've only experienced 2, possibly 3 zones so far. It's a good question. I mean, they're obviously being provided with power, so they can't be that lost, can they?
Yeah, the map is slightly laggy in terms of just pure FPS. I'm using a laptop, so I can get a good feeling for people who might not have a good experience. But this is still a gaming laptop.
They were just in. I got 90 frames per second, which is lower than what I normally experience. 130 in this sewer area.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So it will be interesting to...
It changes a lot.
It'll be because of what's VVis, the potentially visible set, determines what is rendered to you. Typically things like particles that have a lot of overlaying alpha transparent things, like fog for instance, will be more difficult to render. I think the particles here used for the rainfall are not correct. Oh yeah, when you're side onto the water, they look like little halos that are kind of coming out of the water. Or is it just the fact that your particle effects in the first part of the water here are they're not rotated correctly? Because the ones where Extreme Spook is are fine. Yeah, I think the water particles there may not be rotated correctly. If you were to run this map with matte wireframe on in some of the areas that we've been in previously, I'm sure you would have some issues that you could spot. Area portals are very important. You should use area portals to group areas from one another which contain lots of moving entities. Moving entities constantly transmit all the time to players, especially things like track trains. So if you've got a lot of moving entities in one area, you should put an area portal before and after it into before the next one, because then the server will say, right, this player is in another area, so I will not transmit the state of these moving entities for the previous area that they are no longer in. It's very efficient. Yeah, ATR is alive, and the motivator does not appear to exist. Well, it's important that we test the motivator or the anti... there you go. Oh, never mind. If there is a motivator, it does not appear to come early enough. Motivator. Okay. Are you going to be adding something like that in future? Fair enough. But bear in mind when you do that a motivator's primary purpose is to motivate people, is to keep people moving forwards. It's not just to kill off people who idle at the start. It's important to try and keep players together and to push people forwards, because otherwise the people in front will trigger all the traps and the people behind can just walk through.
The first trap is really nice. Good example of a balanced trap, where it doesn't insta-kill you. It just gives you a chance to survive.
Something wrong with the shadows in this room. There's a big splotchy shadow on the ceiling there.
5, 4, 3.
If you're gonna use invisible walls, please put some visual indicator like grate or something to show you that you can't go there. Because it's really strange when you just stop for no reason.
It is. This area here at the bottom of the elevator, and you're right on the edge, you could very easily just step backwards because you assume that you're going to be walking forwards to adjust your position, and then you just step off. It's very strange for a map that's so fully detailed like this that it would make such an obvious error.
Same thing in this place, like you can clearly crouch under this, but you just can't enter.
Indeed.
Yeah, don't do that. It's annoying.
Access should be
Very
barred.
annoying.
It should be clearly barred. You must have a think about like where you're leading players in terms of direction, and also what your what detail you're using to attract their attention. Why can't I jump through this hole in the wall?
You definitely try to keep it somewhat like expected. Otherwise, you like risk getting the players like immersion completely out of the map. Doesn't feel right when something weird happens like that.
Scout, Pauling here.
You have to crouch jump to get through this wall. You should make it wider and put a clip brush so we can just walk over it. You shouldn't require people to crouch jump to do like basic access. Yes. Why the fuck am I hearing such a weird, high-pitched electronic sound made by these wooden turning things? It must be a mistake. It would appear that you've only got one way to traverse this surf ramp. If somebody doesn't know how to surf, and then you've got air strafing as well. This is a requirement. If you don't know how to surf or air strafe, you're screwed. And this is such an early part of the map as well. You should really put stuff like this later on. Advanced movement requirements.
Yeah, definitely like start from easy mechanics and keep making it harder. Or otherwise, you know, you make the player frustrated.
You should avoid using traps that require that are narrow ledges that only have the capacity for one player at a time at the start of the map where you have the most players.
Interesting. You should take
So
a
you're doing-
screenshot of these crystals, because I don't see any of this. Post it in the playtesting channel so that we can see it. Otherwise, it's gonna be hard.
Well, just to add to that, I'm going to make a thread for feedback for the map. You should post any feedback in there, not the PlayStation channel.
Yeah, that's a better idea. Do that instead, so we get stuff in the right place.
I'll see you again.
Is there a anti-AFK thing, by the way? This player is not alive. Well, he's alive, but he's like, his spirit has left his body. Know what I mean? Actually, don't suicide.
Shall I kick him?
I want to see if we have a motivator. Or maybe this is...
We don't.
We don't.
Don't-
have
He's
to-
already
I see.
stated there isn't one.
Ah, I missed that. Okay, we can just kick. Yeah, I think a
I'll
kick would
kick
be
him.
better.
You failed.
I can't just move to spec, really. $1,122 peaky dicks.
Oh
Same.
man, I get 30 frames in the spawn.
Well, there's always going to be low frame rate when the round first starts, because everyone loads in, you know, and all the entities get created. At idle, it's about 120, which is still quite low. And for some reason, I'm still getting this stupid electric sound. Maybe it's because it's a soundscape,
Hey, Scout is calling.
and there isn't a soundscape in Spawn to override it. Well, typically when you start to play maps on a dedicated server, there are a couple of things which can be different. For instance, rotating entities or moving doors. If you use sounds on those, sometimes they can get played multiple times.
One.
I don't quite know the specifics of it, but I had that issue in Castle Stevie. There's two fans, and they have a sound effect, and when they were spinning for the first time, it made this really loud sound because it was basically playing a spin sound multiple times. And then in Steamworks Extreme, the door at the start, that sound gets played like multiple times as well, and it's quite loud. So sometimes the solution was to just have a separate ambient generic sound effect. I don't know if it's because the sound effect is looping or non-looping, and the entity should only be used with a looping or non-looping sound. But it's better to test on a dedicated server for these kinds of things, which is why we obviously have playtesting. One benefit of videos over demos, I suppose, is that they show you the realistic network conditions. My FPS here is about 77. Right at the start
Do you
of the
have
snow
good
area.
specs, by the way?
Me?
Yeah. Like if you get 70 frames on a good setup, imagine what the normal player will get.
Yeah, I've had a very good graphics card and processor.
That is not good then. That's not good at all, because I don't think the...
Use a demo.
I don't think that people have like really good computers. If they're playing TF2, if you think about it, this game usually doesn't require much. But this map does require almost an RTX card.
I think this is probably my favourite area so far with the spinning
There's
blocks.
no problem with RTX, it's always problem with CPU.
I think some of the detailing that you've done, it just seems to be thrown around. Like in this area here with the spinning log things, there's two like ammo paint patches on snow. How the hell does someone paint snow? And then you've got these kind of metal pieces of grid or whatever that come from above that have fallen down. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. But you might want
Actually-
to like
Yeah, I've seen
clear up
painted
some of
snow.
the detailing.
It's really interesting. Like you can use a spray paint on like actual snow and it will not like melt, which is interesting. It's kinda realistic, but yeah. Might be confused.
It's like someone's used a paintbrush.
Well, paintbrush. Yeah, that's a bit different.
Where you going, love? Oh, I'm just going out to paint the snow.
Like I've seen like in construction sites, like actual like spray paint marks on the snow for some reason, but not like actual paint strokes. Never seen that.
I think maybe the difficult to judge the soundscapes as well because of the noise of the electric whatever it is, the fluorescent tube flickering shit.
Yeah, the surf is so bad design.
I think the problem is Nutwoomy is very good at Death Run. Unfortunately, they're not the average Death Run player.
Fortunately, neither is everyone else.
They're also the map author, so they have like double advantage. They are essentially God. I've only played like a small portion of this map and I'm already kind of a little bit frustrated that I haven't got very far because of the traps that I'm having difficulty with.
Don't worry about it, Matt. Most times that shit happens randomly.
I would say this is one of the harder maps. Maybe even harder than Neo Noir. Impossible, considering the trap amount and length of the map.
It's difficult to see the trap elements because it's such a narrow place and there's so many players around, they block my vision.
So you're not
To
gonna
be fair, you could go into third person.
You can actually clip on. Hey, now you can clip on the side of the elevator and get stuck and fall down. Now I'm underneath the elevator, and now.
Could go into third person, but it shouldn't be required.
Hey, Spooky.
Unfortunate.
Bro, you have to be really lucky to find some fucking unusuals.
Thought I had the Rider one.
So how's everyone doing today?
I got teleported back.
Not too bad, a bit tired after work. How about yourself?
Nah, just got paid today.
You
Thankfully
don't
the
sound
snow
very
days.
happy.
That's how I usually sound though.
Fair enough. I guess you're American, presumably?
Yep. Sadly.
I gather that Labour in the US is a bit fucked.
Yeah, it depends on what job you get. But as a whole, yeah, it's kind of fucked.
It's the duck gang. It's the.
What's the purpose of this ice then? Is it needed or something, or is it just for fun? Because haha, you're sliding around.
It's supposed to be an extra hazard, so that way you slip on the ice while the duck is hurt.
Is that a reference to the Goose Game?
Say again, mate, I didn't quite
Yeah,
catch
this
that.
is for this game, but this Goose Game that's supposed left.
Damn, this goose is hardcore. He died, oh man. Jesus, brutal man.
He killed 5-6 people.
What I think is, you've introduced people to ice, so why not reuse the ice later on? Like, for instance, you've got them wood things there that spin, so why not put some ice, like have them and some ice a bit later on, so people have to combine the two skills they've learned, which is the ice and the spiky planks, so they have to be more careful. Because at the moment, just running through this is not particularly challenging, even though I find it enjoyable because it's an easy trap. And going through easy traps kind of gives you a little bit of a boost in confidence, you know. Hey, I'm the last person alive. No pressure.
All up to you, Vormati! Do not die! And you're dead.
Don't get strafe jumping. I mean, I strafe towards it and I go backwards. How does that work?
You have been embarrassed. Everyone was watching this, and it's being recorded.
Makes no sense. Maybe I don't have enough acceleration, that's the problem. Enough forward momentum, so... Oh, whereas ordinarily I would be decelerating, in this case I'm actually going backwards. So what I should do is kind of look to the right a little bit, but again, I don't
should I do the
surf.
traps or let people go through it?
Do you reckon, Ardy? Do you think we've experienced enough torture so far and we should maybe start from a point in the distance?
Yeah, I think we can use one of those auto respawners. I forgot the command.
Oh, are you sure?
I think because, yeah, we're like... Everyone's dying at the like first half of the map. It's like hard to test the rest of the map.
I suppose so. The problem with auto respawn is that it kind of ruins the cohesion a bit compared with like manually respawning somebody.
Yeah, we could also do that. Of course, it requires more work. Or I don't know, does it require more work?
Wait until there's one or two people alive, and then we could raise people then. And that way people still have chance to spec, and then we all start from the same position.
Right, let's do that. Check my hotkey. Oh no,
Also,
not
another thing you
Woomy.
can do.
Has left.
Another thing you can do is when you reach somewhere that you want to start from in the future, is you can do get pos to get your position. You can use SM Archon to set your position on the next round, so you can go back to where you were.
Sounds like a lot of hassle.
I'll do it.
This. Yeah, black brick. Let's see what it is. The black bricks.
I'd rather you didn't, to be honest. What's that noise from? What does it mean? Just random sound effects, or...? That's weird. I'd never heard it before, so it's almost like something significant has happened without my knowledge. I feel like I'm not being clued in. Random shit noises, you know, what does it mean?
Oh god,
It's like
that
someone else is
crouch
triggering
jump.
something.
That is
Fuck me, I'm
crazy. The
shit.
problem is you can't even tell that it is like a crouch jump. Because you don't think that it would be. Then you of course die. Yeah, I think he needs to balance that trap. I hope you're listening to this, Nutwoomy. Making it easier in some parts. Difficulty is good, but too much and you make the player rage quit.
You lose half the player's server count.
What the fuck?
Ah, I forgot to respawn. God damn. Don't worry, next time.
Never mind.
We got this.
Next time, Gadget.
There's always next time. And of course I'm the activator, so doing that is a bit more difficult.
I'll sort it out. I'll god mode myself and bring everyone to me. Try not to die,
Fantastic.
guys.
Let's play test this like normal. Right. Oh god, it kills way after it's supposed to kill.
That's the best place to respawn you all.
Fine, fine. I will give you no mercy. 0.
Right, guys, brace yourself.
Womati the Necromancer.
4, 3,
Bringing you from the dead.
1.
This reminds me of the Horrors 2 map that Audio Trash made.
Yeah,
These
it
lights,
definitely has
Neo
the
horrors.
same amount of detail.
Point spotlights on these lights don't make sense. They're just like kind of focused straight down, but the lamps themselves are designed to cast a much wider.
I
beam.
think this is a good texture. It's using the
So
shit
on
I was
this,
talking about.
this light here that's hanging and moving
where
around,
you can tint.
the point spotlight has got a spawn flag set on it, which changes its
phone.
width and stuff based on geometry that it collides with. You can disable that spawn flag or enable it, I'm not sure, and it will retain its shape as it moves around, because at the moment it's kind of, you know, shrinking up and down, which doesn't look realistic. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm not dead. What the fuck? Oh, I'm sinking down for some reason. What's going on? I don't get
It's
it.
supposed to be drowning. It's supposed to make you start drowning down there, I think. But I think you could put a drowning hurt trigger down there.
It's drowning me through lack of oxygen, but I think it might be possible for medics to out-heal this. 2 medics, maybe. But this is not how water
Bruh.
works, you know?
That's how portals work.
It feels unfair. Suffice it to say, I died.
You have an
I'll just go
indicator.
into God mode.
Respawn people. You'll have a chance.
How the fuck do I heal myself? Thanks. Much appreciated, Toad and Alex and Extreme, whoever healed me.
Yeah.
Well, we're not planning to end the playtest just yet. I mean, there's a lot to explore, so we'll probably be here for some time.
Yeah, I think we'll play until the server time runs out.
Really?
I think that's enough time, considering we can respawn people. We should be able to test everything with that.
The server time is 9 minutes 25.
Yeah, I think that's around 2 rounds. Maybe we should
this
extend.
This water kills you, but the other water doesn't kill you. And this water kills you immediately. I like this section. The detailing looks really good. Kind of reminds me of
I got both the buttons. I got.
Jurassic Park and Doom or something. I suppose I should raise people, shouldn't I? I'll just go to Alex, my saviour.
Okay, watch out, cuz it's about to throw some zombie escape lasers at you.
I don't understand what you mean, but never mind. It'll be surprising.
Oh, he's not gonna trigger him? Okay.
It's a secret, ah. This part is really cool, isn't it? Looks really good.
Oh.
He's overused the light rays a little bit here, though. They don't actually make any sense, because there's no light source directly above. He could have used a more subtle
Wait,
effect.
I think they went.
More dust motes.
Another electric.
Further than I
wires
expected.
trap. Another Oh, you go around them. It's like a minefield.
These switches do something.
Maybe not.
Got like red boxes on them. Oh, are these
Oh, these
cables
are-
that are electrified? I only just noticed them as I approached them. I think maybe they should be cylinders with kind of cable textures on, because these aren't very visible. Maybe just change the rope texture to a cable.
There's some section that is out of my reach.
They remind me of like heads. What are they called? Barnacles. Yeah, they're just pitch black down here. Makes them difficult to see. Fuck me.
You failed.
And that's the end.
Did you win? Oh, nice.
Well, there weren't any mini games, so that's it so far.
Fair enough. I
This is
thought there were
playtest
like
after
7
all.
zones or something. Where did I get that idea from?
Well, not yet. No, there aren't any mini games.
There's like a grid of light here for some reason that I'm clipping into when I'm jumping up and down. This section kind of reminds me of like laser tag arenas. How about you?
Thanks, Doc.
I've been to a laser tag arena, Alex.
Oh yeah. There was this old laser tag arena slash inflatables slash arcade we had called Pirates Cove. It shut down a while ago, but I loved it.
Sounds interesting. A feeling when you press both trap buttons with people rushing through and they do sweet FA. Activator is redundant, it would seem, just like in Neon War Impossible.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Presumably for that sweet detailing, I guess, although they're a little bit in the way, if you ask me. I think it would make more sense if they were kind of spread out a little bit. Maybe it's because there's a gap, and it's like warning you, hey, don't walk here, there's a gap or something. It's hard to tell, though, because the detailing is all kind of scattered around, you know? I don't know if it was intentionally done that way to tell you that there was a fall, or if it's just, wow, look at this theming, you know? I'm not criticising the theming, by the way, by that remark. Just saying that it's difficult to tell if it's intended to communicate that it's a hazard or something, because of the fact that it kind of all blends in. My favourite trap,
Yeah,
I think, probably the most
blends
effective
in.
trap.
Everything
You guys,
blends in.
as soon as you jump on there, you're screwed. And even if you're in midair, when you land on that middle platform, you're screwed.
This is
Nothing
not
you can do
fun.
to get away from it.
You need to do a pixel perfect jump on this. I don't know.
I think the
actually.
problem is that on a normal server with 32 players, how often are you going to be able to play as Activator? Let's say you're on Skyall, and there's maybe 10 rounds.
I still feel like some areas, like inside this construction zone, they're kind of cramped, and the sewers kind of cramped. And with 32 players or something running through it, I feel like that would be a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
A lot of people
crouch
blocking your
walk
view.
in order to pull in these areas, in order to not fall off.
If you only get to play this map like every, as the Activator once every, say, 2 hours or something, then the first time you play it, you're not going to be very familiar with it. So the second time you play it, you'll have a bit of an advantage then, because you're more familiar with what happens when you press the buttons, like that. Because I knew that there was a bit of a delay after pressing the button, and so I was prepared for it. You're only going to get that on the first run, and if your first run is as disappointing as the one I had, and you only get to play it once every 2 hours, if that, it's not going to be a very enjoyable experience.
I would make some of the platforms in the construction zone and right here maybe a lot bigger because I feel like I could slip off it. I'm not careful.
Nicely juked, Mr. Heavy. Detailing in this area is really good. The visibility I've got as the activator is very good as well. I just wish it extended to the rest of the map.
What?
If I could clearly see where people were easily, I'd be so much more happy. I think the speed lanes are a touch too close to the buttons though. I could go onto them quite easily. Appreciate the fact that there's a backwards and forwards speed lane. I think the lettering on the activated doors above them is a bit difficult to see in dark areas because it's black on dark, you know. It needs some kind of backing, or maybe it needs to be self-illume. Apologise for talking so much, by the way, guys. I hope I'm not distracting you. Everyone's green in here. It makes it a little bit difficult for me as the activator to pick you all out. And there's also rocks and shit in my way, blocking it. Oh, this is the end for me. Okay, fair enough.
This is a nice map. Very nice.
I just got a white screen flash for some reason.
I'm glad this is a
It
secret,
basically
not
just
like,
said. It basically just said, "Fuck you, bitch."
I see. I think it would be beneficial if I had like an outline when people entered the room here, but I mean that might be too much to ask. It'd be interesting if you could kind of temporarily make players not have any Z sorting, so I could see them over everything else. That'd be interesting. Indeed, I think it's really pushing the boundaries of detailing in Death Run. Can you think of a better detailed map than this?
I don't think you can.
Run off.
It's really good in terms of detail. Some areas could use more detail, some less. But the amount is there.
Indeed. I think it needs a good sound pass, and I think it needs some lighting tweaks. Like the
What type
the
of tweaks are we talking about here?
what? To lighting?
Most likely, probably. I don't know.
Well, it would take a while for me to go into them in detail, so I don't think it's a good idea for me to talk about them in the playtest. There's quite a few static and automated hazards which I enjoy, but I think those are perhaps the most interesting parts, and the majority of the manually activated traps are difficult to actually spot unless you've had a few playthroughs, and even then they don't appear to represent much of a hazard. Bye. Take me with you.
4, 3,
I'm different.
2, 1.
I think we have tested everything after this round. I'll stop the recording after this round. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the playtest.
Surprisingly, I think you're right there.
I think the playtest should stop there, and yeah. We only had one map for
Is there a
today.
goose in here, and should I be scared of the goose?
Yes, you should definitely be scared of the goose.
What is it doing?
And as this is the last map, I have to thank everyone for attending, everyone who gave feedback. Give it to Nutwoomy if you can, but he'll see the video, so don't worry. And then he'll make improvements.
Yeah, poor
And we'll have a
Pyro.
playtest too.
If you're on the Death Experiment server, you go to the playtesting channel. There's a thread that you can leave feedback in. In the thread, please, thank you very much.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Fuck!
Oh, I didn't work. I died. I don't understand it.
Wait, how
I don't
did you get
understand
an
it.
Australian flamethrower?
Playing lots of man versus machine.
Fair enough.
Fuck me!
Fuck!
Thank you. I'd like to enable wireframe actually at some point and see what's going on there. But is it really
I
worth
think
it?
we
'Cause
could do that. We could extend this one round just for the wireframe, because I'm curious to see how much of the stuff is actually being rendered in the different sections.
You gotta be kidding me! How the fuck did I
Fuck's
just do
sake.
that?
This is all strafing and shit, is it? I hate strafing.
I didn't even strafe, I just fell.
How are you supposed to get to this platform? From that platform?
No! You have to strafe.
How? What? Oh, that's just stupid. Unfair.
I just press command SND restart at his worst curve.
I did it and I died! Fuck!
Yeah,
think it's
this
reasonable.
section is cursed. Nutwoomy should do something
The
about this.
sound is so fucking annoying. You can restart this. It's worse.
Oh my god! I goofed! Fuck! I didn't jump!
This surf.
Is that supposed to be working like this?
God damn it.
So you've got to air strafe. Presumably you don't go diagonally because that's impossible. You actually have to strafe around.
I'm stuck.
You legit have to strafe around.
Yeah.
Once you
So
jump
you have
on the blue
to.
block, once you jump on the blue block, you are going to strafe around the barrier and get on the other one that pops up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that if you're playing like a surf map, you've got all the time in the world to practice your
What the
surfing.
fuck?
But
No!
the problem with introducing advanced movements like this in a death run map is that there's no chance in the death run map earlier on to practice this ability in a safe way. Many times.
What the
Oh, I
fuck?
died. So once you arrive at this advanced movements, it's the first and only chance you have to try it, and
What
then
the
you're inevitably
hell?
going to die. I don't get it. I'm clearing the gap, so why am I still being killed by the rock?
Because apparently the rock takes more width than what you are trying to clear. Oh, there's the hit. There's the hit, Reg.
I think I got stuck on the wall as well a bit.
Oh, that's bullshit!
I feel like the rock should be directly over the gap here, really. I think that's the problem, is because we see the rock and the gap, we think that the rock is actually over the gap, but it's not. You know what I've just realised, guys? The torches indicate
Oh, no.
the safe parts. If you stand next to the torches, those are the safe zones. I think it's just this first rock which is a bit
Made it.
confusing.
Made it! Holy shit, that was annoying.
Cheers
Oh, no.
very much,
I
Zati,
don't know.
Zati, whatever you probably prefer.
How am I supposed to get past this? I'm gonna die! Gulp.
Victory.
Yeah, the hanging wires, they're not that good. Because you can't see it, because it's black. And the whole scene is like a dark brown. You can barely see the wires. So now we will enable wireframe mode, so we can see how much of the map is being rendered at once. I forgot the command. Hopefully Formatty remembers.
Oh no! Oh no! No! I got stuck on the fucking corner. That's bullshit.
So in the elevator section there is a really, like, you can see the whole elevator shaft and the actual tunnel itself with the elevator is, and it's too much stuff rendered at once. So just like Wormatty said, area portals.
In this room, where we're in now, I can actually see 3D skybox.
Really?
But that doesn't make sense because there are no skybox brushes in this room that I can see, so the skybox should not be rendered to me.
And Nutwoomy has a really good opportunity to use toggleable area portals with this door that comes straight after the elevator. It closes, it opens. It's perfect for this.
I think I see the reason why the skybox texture is used. It's because the sky above
This is what lags.
the elevator
I'm
shaft,
rendering the trees.
I can see the sky
everything.
through that. So maybe they just want to use the 2D skybox texture, which just does the lighting.
This
Because
is
there's
too
no
much
sense
shit.
in like rendering the whole 3D skybox if you can't
ridiculous.
actually see it.
You have to do something about either use lower poly models or reduce the amount of props or even area portals. Not much you can do
There
otherwise.
appears to be like a lot of trees and stuff in the skybox as well, a 3D skybox. I'm not sure. There's a lot of polygons or triangles. I don't know how much of a difference that makes though.
Yeah, polys make a big difference if you have a lot of them. Especially with trees. It will like bring your computer to a crawl. You render enough of them.
Yeah, I can't see the sky here at the top of the elevator either, so again, 2D skybox material.
And some of these models are unnecessarily high poly. Like these traffic cones, they seem to have more polygons than the actual barrels themselves. Makes no sense.
Oh fuck! So here we are in the icy section. Again, the 3D skybox is visible, despite the fact that we're in a valley. You can also see some bits and pieces ahead, which would be taken care of using hint faces easily. I'd be happy to provide some advice on that. What the fuck? Am I stuck? Oh. So this bit was a bit,
with this jumping section after the spinning wooden spikes, you can see like the whole next section from this jumping section, which is not good. You're definitely rendering more stuff than you're supposed to.
yeah, I'm seeing everything behind me, and also the windows of some building, and also the 3D... Oh no, not the 3D skybox actually.
And this is one of the few maps that would really benefit from good vis-leaf control, because it's so detailed. At this point you just have to think about that seriously.
Indeed. Normally, Death Row maps are so simple in their detail that you really don't have to worry, but fuck's sake. Of course.
Same thing here. Maybe that's fine. Because you're gonna enter it anyway. Like a lot of pulleys. Might also be just a lot of area. Using. I think this section is fine. Because it's completely separated from the previous section. You can see that my frame rate is actually okay here. You should be able to aim for this frame rate for the whole map.
Been going on for an hour, yes.
The green section is fine. It's completely separated from the previous section, and I get over 100 frames there. So good job on that, I guess. Not
Except for the fact that the 3D skybox is visible.
what.
Yeah, I think they must have just used 3D sky, the normal tool sky instead of 2D in many of these places, because I don't think I've even seen the actual 3D skybox yet, to be honest. It's like a game in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's it. We tested all the traps. We tested, I think, everything. So I'm gonna stop the recording now, and I'll say it again. Thanks for everyone who attended, and give your feedback to Nutwoomy for his map if you can on the Death Experiments Discord. You aren't
yourselves a
already
pat on
there.
the back for a job well done.
Yeah, it's hard work. Test maps. Definitely give yourself big pat on the back.
And interestingly, no frame hitching as well.